Gervonta Tank Davis. Let Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney know y'all ain't built like that, bro. Jay Prince did an interview with Sean Zeitel talking about Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. And Sean typically does a good job. And I think sometimes people don't want to miss out on getting interviews. They don't want to ask certain questions, either be it they don't want to ruin a relationship or they may be a tad bit intimidated, but there's so many avenues that I wish he would have went in questioning Jay Prince that I want to talk about in this video. Smash the like, sub to the channel, share the video. We live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 7:30. I'm also live Sunday mornings with the Singing OG, KC Boxing Network. Sunday mornings, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So, asking Shakur Stevenson's manager about Tank Davis is always par for the course. And you expect that. You know that, but if you're gonna ask those questions, I would really like for people to dig in, right? Like, why hasn't anybody asked Shakur Stevens? Like, to this day, right? To this day, right? People beat around the bush, right? And they've never asked Shakur Stevenson this. I've never heard Jay Prince get asked this question, and that is, did Tank Davis team really just call y'all and ask y'all, did y'all want the fight, and then hang up? Nobody asked him that, bro. And then the other thing, not even involving Tank Davis, why won't nobody ask him, make him double down, make Shakur Stevenson double down? Jay Prince, is this really Shakur Stevenson's last fight in his matchroom contract? Will he be a free agent after this fight? And just see what they say, bro. Make them double down and triple down on shit that they're saying so that if it turns out to be true, okay, they were telling the truth. If it turns out to be false, then now we have a record of them lying to us, bro. So I was very disappointed that these things didn't come up. Now, he did say something interesting in an interview about Williams Zepeda and how if everybody keep their word, that fight is going to happen. So it's looking more and more like Shakur Stevenson versus Williams Zepeda is the next fight for Shakur Stevenson. I think it's a great fight. I think it's wonderful. It'll show us a lot about Shakur Stevenson. It'll show us a lot about where he's at mentally and where he's at physically. And what I mean by that physically, he's been hurting his hands his last 7 or 8 fights. Hurt his hand. His grandfather said going into the Cordina fight, his hands been hurt the last 7 fights. Then training for the Cordina fight, he ended up getting hurt in training and had to get surgery. Then after that, he fought Padley, and he said he hurt both his hands. His promoter said he hurt both his hands in the Padley fight. He said he's going to get on the phone with Floyd Mayweather and see if he can fix his hands, right? And so physically, fighting Williams Zepeda, physically, we're going to get to see how his hands hold up because you're going to have to fight that dude up off you. Whether you think Williams Zepeda is skilled or not, whether you like his style or not, you're going to have to fight him up off you. That's number one, right? Otherwise, he's just going to drown you in activity. So physically, we get to see where he's at against Williams Zepeda. But for me, most importantly, it's mentally, right? I love the fight because I know what Williams Zepeda is going to bring. Everybody knows what Williams Zepeda is going to bring. The person that we got the questions on was Shakur Stevenson. We just went over physically, mentally, right? The Nakathila shit comes to mind. And Shakur Stevenson fans hate when we bring this up, but he was booed. He apologized for that performance. Andre Ward was getting on him for that performance. Tim Bradley was getting on him for that performance because he was overly defensive in that fight because he was worried about the power of Nakathila. Same thing with Edwin De Los Santos. He was booed in that fight. He didn't fight good in that fight. He said he was dealing with his hands. He was dealing with his shoulder. He was dealing with his elbow, whatever the hell. He was sick. He had to tweet his girlfriend, DM his girlfriend, say he didn't feel good, all that shit. All that shit, right? And so But all that being said, people have questions, such as myself, about how he reacts to power, how he reacts to pressure. We wonder why he don't fight every fighter the same. 1 minute, he'll stay in the pocket with you, make you miss, make you pay, be right there, and box his ass off against a Padley, against a Jamel Herring. Then the next minute against Nakathila, Edwin De Los Santos, he on his back foot all night, moving around the goddamn ring. How will he approach Zepeda? Will he be in that bitch like Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo, rolling shots, countering shots, dropping that man work rate, not because he's running from him, but dropping his work rate because every time Zepeda try to open up, he's sharp shooting the fuck out his ass. Does he have that mentality? Will he be able to do that? So those are the questions that he's able to answer by fighting William Zepeda, and that's why it's such a great fight to me. Because you're going to sink or you're going to swim. Physically, if your hand's not there, William Zepeda going to test that shit because he don't care where he is. You're punching the hand, the shoulder, the arm. He throwing 5-6 combinations. He doing all that shit. He ain't going to stop. So we get to see where you at physically right now. Mentally, was it really the injuries against Edwin De Los Santos, or are you just scary? Was it really just the off night against Nakathila, or are you just somebody that's scary? William Zepeda can bring that up out you to let us know what it really is. Are you a front runner, or are you really a dog mentally? We get to find that shit out, right? So there's that part of the interview. But obviously the main part that you guys are probably here for is the Tank Davis part. And this is why I think it's important to ask Jay Prince, did they just call you and hang up the phone after you said you wanted to fight? Because he said something about, I don't know if Al Heyman believe in him, but I think Gervonta should believe in himself and be the man I know he is, so forth and so on. Basically, like, he don't think Al team want to make the fight. And my question would be, if that's the case, why did they reach out to you in the first place? If they didn't believe in him, if he didn't believe in himself, what did they call you for? What were they trying to negotiate for? And that's why we need to get to the bottom of it, because Tank and his team are saying something completely different than what Jay Prince and his team are saying about how that shit went down. So what the fuck is going on, bro? And also this believe in yourself shit. Shakur Stevenson don't move like somebody that's wanting all the smoke. He don't move like somebody that believe the shit that they be saying. Because if he did, why did he pick Padley over Jair Herrera, who was a more dangerous fighter? If he did, why do y'all have him over at Matchroom? Y'all move for the money, bro. You advise him to go to Matchroom and Eddie Hearn and sign where there's no fights for him. He didn't say, nah, bro, why would I sign there? They ain't got no fighters. He just went after the money. So I be hearing what these dudes be saying. I be hearing how they be moving. I be hearing all the stuff they say about Tank Davis. But my question is, why didn't y'all go after the rematch with Edwin like Shakur said he wanted, to prove that it was the injuries? You never fought Edwin. Y'all act like it's beneath you to fight him. Why didn't you go over the top rank? Why didn't y'all do everything you can to get the Zepeda fight? How come the options that Eddie Hearn gave him instead of with Cordina was Cordina and Zelfa Berry? The young man and his team makes moves to show that they're going after money, not legacy, bro. Not big fights. And that's why at the beginning of this video I said, I want to know if there's really one fight left on this deal. That's what Jay Prince needs to be getting asked. He's his manager. Hey, how many fights y'all got left on the Eddie Hearn deal? Oh, we got one fight left. Bet. So what is Shakur Stevenson? What are y'all trying to do next? What are y'all going after? Because then now you can hear him say, oh, we want the biggest fight, so we're going to try to see if we can make the fight with Al and Tank as a free agent after we get out of this contract. We're going to see if we can go over the top rank, get the Loma fight, see if they give us TO 140 champion, or we're going to go after the best deal. You know, Shakur's a star. We're going to see whoever come up with the best. Like, bro, we need to hear them to speak on these things, bro. Because I think Shakur Stevenson fans will be surprised with the answers, to be honest with you. It'll give insight into what they really got going on. So I thought the interview was cool. You know, I ain't hating on nobody or nothing, but I do think there's a lot of shit that didn't get answered in that interview. And this idea that Tank don't believe in himself or Al don't believe in Tank, They negotiating the Loma fight while they was motherfucking fighting Frank Martin. They were negotiating the Loma fight. They already had a whole nother fight planned while he was fighting Lamont Roach. He's about to go into a Lamont Roach rematch. In the toughest fight of his career, he's going right back to it. In the toughest fight of Shakur Stevenson'S career, he moved on. They already reached out to Shakur and Keyshawn, trying to make fights with them. Confirmed by Shakur and Keyshawn themselves. Not Tank Davis' team. I think they believe in him just fine, Jay Prince. Just this time, when they reach out to y'all, don't go sign to another promoter. Make the fucking fight happen. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Comment below, smash a like, sub to the channel. I'll see y'all soon. Peace. Gervonta Tank Davis. Let Shakur Stevenson. Devin Haney know y'all ain't built like that, bro.